What's happening, bunnies? Today we are on Rook 6 as we grind towards Queen ranking in Auto Chess Mobile, and we are trying a comp that was big in the previous meta, which is Glacier Knight. We want to see if it's still usable in the current meta based on the new updates, and it turns out that it can still be used. It's still quite powerful now that they've put a bit of a buff back onto the Glaciers and the Knights, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to drop a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you in the gameplay. Enjoy. Right, ladies and gents, what's happening? So today we've got a pretty cool clip from the Rook 6 grind, I think it was. So it's a Glacier Knight build, which is something that also I haven't done in a while. I think with the nerf that happened in the previous version, it wasn't really performing very nicely, and there was more of a focus, I think, on like Divinity Mage type builds or 9 Warrior builds. But at the moment, they've definitely made some changes in the current update, and Glacier Knight is absolutely usable. It's still a bit tricky, as it always has been. I think early game it has some weaknesses, but let's see how it plays out. I do get the first 2 Glacier pieces quite easily, and Desperate Doc is always nice in the early rounds because his ultimate affects the pieces, the damage is high, so I really like him.
Now I can afford a bigger candle.
I'm just getting set up here. Oh, I need some juice, I'm so thirsty. Alright, cool. So as I mentioned previously, because the Glacier Knight combo, if you haven't got your Knights at a sort of 4-6 level, where the shields really start taking effect, or you haven't got 4 Glaciers and you haven't got that 35 speed enhancement, then they can be a bit weak early game. So you potentially could be looking at working through a losing streak type strat. So because of that, you want to always make sure you have other options available on the bench, and you'll see in this instance I keep my general Goblin Mech type combo available just in case I need to put some more tankiness onto the front line. And it'll obviously depend on what I get in the shop, and I can already see at the moment it seems like most of the other guys are running some sort of warrior comp, whether it's Beast Warrior or Glacier Warrior, I'm not sure. But that's quite good for us because it means the availability of pieces should be quite high. And we get our level 2 Desperate Doc. Now level 2 Desperate Doc is a nice piece to have early game. Super powerful when he ultimates, and obviously he has effect on multiple pieces, so that's absolutely clutch for us. So really happy with that. Should help us moving onto a win streak hopefully in the early game, but let's not call it too early. Let's see what happens. I've really been enjoying the building on the Knight type strategies, and I think it's because I didn't get the opportunity to venture into your dragon type comps, and I've really been trying to experiment a bit with those and see what are the best options to work with the dragon comp. I haven't been too successful with that yet, but your sort of standard 4 Glacier 6 Knight type builds I've been going with, as well as just 4 Knight 4 Glacier. Maybe with 1 or 2 Witchers in there, or something like a Storm Shaman as well, just for the crowd control. So we're on the winning streak at the moment, and to maintain that I've added in the Skybreaker just because he's tanky, and obviously my three units on the back lines aren't the most tanky units, so if Desperate Doctor has to fall early, it'll be an immediate loss. So spent a little bit extra cash, more than I would obviously have wanted to, but it's worth it, I think, because we're on the winning streak and we want to keep that win streak going. So generally, if I wasn't winning, I wouldn't have spent the cash on the level up, but I think it's worth it at this stage of the game because we're getting the pieces that we want, and we're pushing on that win streak.
My fate is sealed with snake venom.
Don't look up!
Okay, so again, to maintain the win streak, I think we spent a bit of extra cash there. I noticed the 4th Glacier was there, so I'm assuming we're going to lock that, because Fortune Teller is really good piece to have, especially number one because it's our 4th Glacier, so that completes the synergy. But secondly, if we do end up going into lose streak type strat, he's the piece you want on the board because he reduces your loss percentage, I think by 20% on the HP. Yeah, so Lightning Blade pulling through nicely. I think what's nice between Lightning Blade and Desperate Doctor is, obviously Lightning Blade hits multiple people at the same time, as does Desperate Doctor with its ultimate. So, they do some sort of level of crowd control on the front line, which is really nice. But unfortunately, we do lose that round. The Warriors were a bit too strong for us. So let's see what we do now. Just changing strat a bit, making sure we get the 4 Glacier combo on there. That way our speed is increased and we reposition to the side. It'll number one protect the Desperate Doc as well as the Lightning Blade. I think potentially it might have been a bit of a misplay. I should have probably kept Desperate Doc on the front because he's obviously more tanky at a 2-star level. Okay, looking at everyone else, we've got some Divinity players, and it looks like the rest are all running some sort of beast warrior or warrior setup. So that's good for us. Again, our pool will be nice and diluted, so we should be able to pick up the pieces that we're looking for, hopefully towards mid and end game. We'll see. Okay, so we've talked about this before in previous videos, but I think it's nice that we get the pair there. I think what's also important to remember is that we did lose a match, but that doesn't mean that we have to go straight into a losing streak. If we feel our pieces are strong enough and maybe it was just one team that's really giving us an issue, you can try and get back onto the win streak and push that direction. Obviously, a win streak's preferable over a lose streak for me because there's a lower risk. Sometimes when you run lose streak strats, you end up not managing to get the comp that you need by the time you need to climb back up the ladder, and you end up falling short and dropping out in a 7th or 8th place because you didn't play it well. So let's see if it works out. It's not looking great at the moment. The range teams are hitting us quite heavily. I didn't see this hunter comp. It must have been on either a druid hunter or a warrior hunter. I'm hoping we go back in and see what the guys are playing. But again, that's unfortunate. So again, now we need to make a decision. Potentially we have to go down a losing streak, or if we find the right pieces, maybe we can get the 4 synergy on Knights, which would be great. And here's a nice shop because we've got Argali, we've got Frost Knight and Fallen Witcher. I'm not sure if we're going to use Fallen Witcher, but I'm assuming we're going to lock that at least for next round. Our economy is not in a great place, but I think we're okay for now because we're getting some good pieces, and that matters more. So hopefully we can survive through golems, and once we get through the golems, I think we need to start ensuring that we focus on our economy a bit more. But there so the Russian guy is on the lose streak at the bottom, a Toxa, and hopefully I mean, that's a pretty straightforward win, but I think that's expected. He is lose streaking. Okay, we've leveled up to level 6, and I think again that's just because we're trying to implement a win streak. It hasn't worked out that well, but that's all good. I think we are getting the pieces that we want. Alright, so Soul Reaper in any Glacier Knight comp, I think Soul Reaper or Ghost Prophet is always useful, bringing in the double synergy of Warlock and Egasis. Obviously we don't have the Evil Knight yet, but Evil Knight will then give us potentially a 4th Knight as well as the Egasis synergy, and then between Desperate Doctor and Soul Reaper we then get the Warlocks in, which is awesome. Okay, so you climb quite comfortably through rock golems. I'm pretty happy with that. And it's nice to get some mana items. I'm not sure where we place that, if that's going to go onto Soul Reaper or Desperate Doc. I'm hoping Desperate Doc. Okay, so it's Raptors on the top that's running the Hunter synergy, and those are the guys that are giving us a hard time. But that's okay. I think if we get our team strong enough, hopefully later game, we won't have to worry about them too much. As long as we can just get through their front line, we should be okay. And we get our Evil Knight, which is great. Because once we get Lightning Blade to level 2, and we free up some space, I think once we've leveled up a bit, we'll be able to then get the Aegisus and the Knight synergies to where we want them to be. Okay, so it looks like we have a mage setup being built here by Bugro. Yeah, he's definitely looking to go with the 2 level 2 Gods of War. He's definitely looking to go in some sort of div mage setup. And he knocks us. So we're in that position that you don't want to be, where we're transitioning between wins and losses, which means our economy is not going to be benefiting much from that. And you can see it. I mean, we're only on 5 econ at this stage in the game. That's definitely not where we want to be. We are leveling up some of our pieces, but this is high risk because if we don't get onto some sort of streak soon, our economy is definitely going to it's going to decline quite quickly. We're going to end up in a position where we don't have a lot of cash, and once the mid-game teams start becoming stronger, we're not going to be able to deal with that. Our team won't be strong enough. We also don't have the 4/4 Knight synergy yet, so we're definitely not in a position where we can afford to not have any economy. If we were winning all our matches and we're going on some sort of hectic streak, no problem, because we'd be able to grow our economy. But as it stands, we're winning some and we're losing some, and that's not a great place to be. Cool, so we beat Vaha there. He's still moving out of the goblin mech into his new strat. He's branched out, so I think he's still building that comp, which is cool.
Don't look up!
So we've got the 4 level 2s on there, we've got the 4 Glacier synergy and the 2 Knight synergy, and we'll want to get Lightning Blade, definitely Frost Knight. We want to get those both to level 3, hopefully, and potentially the Helm Knight as well, once we get him on the board. Cool, so easy win for us there. That was Liam. He's playing an assassin druid setup, and Vaha, yeah, as we saw there, the goblin mech assassin, that's Vaha that we played previously. Guys are definitely starting to branch into their main setups or their main strategies for the remainder of the game.
Into chaos.
I think as it stands, we're starting to build some econ. We're up to 15 now. And the idea would be to spend as little as possible unless we're getting key units, not overspend at this stage, because we really need to try and get as close to 50 as we can. We know by around 21 we want to try and get to level 8, so that would be that would be ideal, but we'll see how we go. Cool, so this is a druid team, a druid assassin team, and they're still building. The problem with druid assassin teams is they can become strong really quickly as they reach level 3, and they reach level 3 quickly with the druids. They can become quite powerful in the mid to end game, so it's definitely something not to be underestimated. The idea would be we need to ensure that we get our shields ready so that we have the ability to withstand the high volumes of their summons, as well as their level 3 damage. Their DPS is going to be quite high.
In the name of the moon, I will punish you!
You guys must forgive me. I'm still new to making vids, and talking so much is definitely not normal for me. So my throat does tend to get quite dry. So I'm drinking water and drinking juice all the time, try and keep the moisture going, and that's why my voice is a bit hoarse. So apologies for that. I'll definitely get used to it as I start pumping out more clips. But we're going to Wolfpack now. So the change in positioning was based on that, to ensure that we get our front line to the back. So when the assassin wolves jump over, we prepared for them. So pretty comfortable victory there. No real issues.
You can't hold a
Pretty
candle to
straightforward
my
victory there.
power.
And we're still in a good position. I mean, Raptor's on a win streak. He's above 5 wins already in a row, so he's definitely one to watch out for. And he's running the Dwarf Hunter synergy at the moment, and he definitely beat us last time we played, if I remember correctly. So one to watch out for. And you can see some of the teams are already starting to level up to level 7. So we need to just we are I think next round going to level up when we get to 816. It means that we can use 10 econ and level up. So I'm assuming we're going to do that next round. And you can see we've got all the pairs building. So quite happy with the bench. It's ordered, it's tidy, and we're ready to level up some nice pieces there. So if we can get, I think, the Hell Knight or the Evil Knight to level 2, that'll probably be our next piece. And if we can get a Berserker, that would be great to replace the Defector. That level 1 Defector is going to become quite pointless quite quickly, with the exception obviously of holding the synergy.
The alpha always gets the bone.
Cool, so that was Raptor again. Still running hunters, and the hunters are still getting to us. So I noticed we also we didn't reposition back to our original setup before Wolfpack. We didn't fix it, but we have decided to level up. So you can see we spent our econ there, and we've decided to put on the Hell Knight. Hell Knight's a great piece. We could definitely put it onto the front line, and we've made a decision here to sacrifice the Warlock synergy that we had going, and instead get our shields up with the 4 Knight synergy. And I think that's the right call at this stage. We definitely don't want to start moving too heavily into a lose streak of any sort, and that extra shield is just going to give us a little bit of extra defense against some of the stronger DPS teams. As I said, until we start hitting the 6 Knight synergy or level 3 on some of these guys, it's going to be quite tricky. Our DPS is not going to be that high, and some of these mid-game teams are going to become quite strong, and they're going to run through us quite quickly. So let's see how we go. Yeah, I think it was the right play there. Yeah, you can see we've already got a level 3 Skybreaker here, so that's definitely not ideal. And yeah, it looks like they're going to eat through us quite easily. So we're going to start moving down the ladder now. You can see we're officially on a lose streak, which is not great, but the positive is that early game we were quite strong, so we had quite a bit of extra HP, if you want to call it that, to which we can afford to lose now, because we know mid game our knights aren't going to be too strong. We were fortunate to have the level 2 or the 2-star Desperate Doctor early game, which pulled us through quite a lot of that, and then we got the knight synergy as well. But now we're at that state where all the mid game teams that are strong are going to start crushing us quite seriously. So the idea now, I think, would be to just mitigate our HP loss as far as possible, and then and this is also an interesting build. Sure. Okay, so this is a warrior build with a little bit of a Thunder Spirit at the back end there. But we seem to be doing quite well. So what we want to do now is we're okay to lose, but not by too much. So if we do lose, that's fine, but I actually think we might pull through this one. Yeah, I think we're gonna take it. Yeah, we should take it. Okay, cool. I think it might actually have been better to continue on the lose streak, actually. But there's always that fine balance between winning the match versus losing so badly that we we end up in a crappy position. Now this is great because we can get rid of that defector, which was doing us no good, and getting the berserker in there. The Zerk is always a class act, so he's going to help us with DPS now in the mid game towards late game. If we can get him to level 2, he'll definitely be a key piece for us. He'll be probably our hardest hitter, so excited to have him on board, and this could swing us in the right direction. Okay, so already you can see, if you look at our DPS, I mean, Berserker's a 1 star and he's already pulling a lot of weight there, even more so than our level 2 Desperate Doc, so really happy with that. And now we get our level 2 Hull Knight, so that's awesome as well. I'm assuming we are on 51 econ, so we can either... Are we going to... Okay, I think we're hoping for the win. The idea would be if we get the win now, it knocks us back up to 50 econ and we get our 5 interest. But at least we've managed to build back up to the 50 econ that we wanted. And this is our first... I think this is our first round against the assassin team, so that's quite interesting to see how this plays out. Yeah, and I think we did pretty well. I mean, we kind of crushed them. I think the Abyssal Crawler is always going to give you a hard time, but other than that, it was pretty straightforward, and I'm comfortable with that. I know with a lot of the builds that I do, in some of the other synergies, assassins are always a thorn in the side, but it seems like we've got that covered with this one. And our stores also being friendly to us, so we're getting some really nice pieces here. And because we managed to get our econ from 0 all the way up to 50, if you remember correctly, we were really struggling with econ in the just around the rock column stages, so around round 10. We weren't in a great spot, and we've managed to get that up quite nicely, so I'm happy with that. And our team's looking quite solid now. We do have the 4-6 synergy and the 4-4 synergy for Glacier, so we're in a decent spot. Our HP's at a good level, our econ's happy. If you look in the middle ladder, those guys are really struggling with econ. We've got a 7, a 1, a 5 and a 2, and the guys won't be happy with that. That being said, 2 of them are on level 8 and 1 of them is on level 9 at the bottom, whereas we're only on level 7 at the moment, but we do have econ if we wish to level up. I don't think we have a need to do so just yet. Right now, what's important is that we level up our pieces, because again, we definitely want to be trying to push 3 stars on our Lightning Blade, on our Frost Knight, and potentially on our Hull Knight. Okay, so we're locking the Lightning Blade simply because we definitely want it for the 3 star. It's going to contribute towards that, but also we're on 50 econ. We don't want to lose that now, especially if we're going to have to level up to level 8 soon. It's important that we just monitor our econ nicely. Cool, so this is Budigo. We haven't, I don't recall playing him yet.
You can try,
and he's bottom of the log, so sure. Okay. This is what I was talking about earlier about running a losing strat. So Budigo is at the bottom of the ladder. He's got 1 econ and 1 HP, so he's really just scraping through, and that to me looks like a lose streak that's gone wrong. You can see he's running druids. It looks like a druid assassin type build, which is an amazing build at the moment. It's absolutely meta, but I think that he might have left it a bit too late on the HP and it hasn't worked out completely his way. So I'd be surprised if he manages to come back up from there. You'd have to be quite fortunate. He also didn't get enough level 3s from a druid perspective, so I think he's going to struggle. But he did beat us there, but again, I'm comfortable with that because I don't think he's going to make it much longer in this match. Cool, so we get our level 2, our second level 2 Lightning Blade. Only a few more and we're up to level 3, and that's going to be a key piece for us. So level 3 Lightning Blade is absolutely OP, it's amazing. So this is Bugro, we played him earlier.
Human was harmed in the making of
He's
this
building a
game.
Divinity Mage comp.
That's you.
And we're losing our games now. But again, we're okay. Because we had a little bit of extra HP to play with, we're in a reasonable spot and our economy is in a good place. And that's, I think, the most important thing at this stage, is that our econ is in a really solid place, which means we can start leveling up. If we wanted to, we're on curve at the moment, and I think we do it. There we go, we hit to level 8. And that brings us 2 new synergies from an Aegisthus and a Warlock perspective. So super chuffed with that. And this can be a game changer because Soul Reaper is also a strong unit. I think potentially we could have maybe waited till after this round because it's a creep round. But other than that, I'm pretty comfortable with where we are. It seems to be going quite well. Yeah, and this is a pretty comfortable victory. No issues here.
The enemy is just a candle in the wind.
What do we say to the god of death?
So I think we're going to push down probably to
Ready for
40.
takeoff. Oh, maybe after I lose some weight.
Yeah, because we can now get the level 2 Soul Reaper, and that's going to be clutch for us as well. Soul Reaper is such a strong piece. He's so useful in multiple different comps and different strats. So I think just to keep our econ above 40, we've locked it so we can buy him next round. But he's going to be a core piece for us, so that's awesome. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, and this is the Bugro that was beating us earlier with his div comp. And as you can see, we've become stronger. The Soul Reaper is making a difference. The shields are making a difference. And I think definitely having the lifesteal, the Aegisthus and the Warlock synergies are helping us through there. And we take our first victory against him, so we're quite happy with that. And now we can get our level 2 Soul Reaper. And the comp starts to take shape. It's starting to look really nice. We're not looking to go 6-6 at this stage. We're not looking to go 6-6 on knights. So that's why we opted not to take the Dragon Knight. But that's okay because we've got other support units in place like the Soul Reaper, which I think is going to do a good job. So I'm quite comfortable with that. This is Vaha, and he's still running. This is a tough comp because it's Goblin Mech Assassin, and he's already got some level 3s going, so he's going to have strong DPS and decent armor. And hopefully he doesn't get the Devastate. I didn't see it there, but hopefully he doesn't get that because that can be quite a tricky one for us. And the shop's friendly again, so we get our level 3. Frost Knight, which is awesome for us, and we keep combining some pieces, some items to put on our pieces, and I think we know that we're pushing for a level 3 Lightning Blade here, so we do try and ensure that we get a lot of good items onto him as well as to Berserker because he always carries, so it's great to have some items for him as well. Okay, and we're playing Vaha again. I think we just played him. That's unfortunate. For us it's fortunate. I think again this is one of the things they need to work on. The algorithm for detecting who to play within a match is a little bit broken. I don't think it's fair that we should be playing the same guy twice in a row. In this instance it benefits us because we're strong against him. But it could quite easily have been the case that that it's a team that's for example that Hunter team that was beating us earlier. You wouldn't want to constantly play the same guy over and over again. It's not fair. You want to have equal face with all the other guys as well. And we've hit top 4 now, so quite excited. The other guys have all dropped out as we expected for some of them. And Vaha's also got no economy. He's on a losing streak. He's got 1 HP left, so we expect him to go out quite soon as well. And Raptor, who was running the Hunter comp, is also dropped, so we're in a good position now. This is a Toxa our Russian friend, and he is giving us a much harder time than the other team so far. Baja's dropped out, and our level 3 Frost Knight is trying to keep it going for us. I don't know if we'll be lucky. It'll be a very close match. And he takes it. Okay, that's unfortunate, but that's okay. It means it's a close match, which is great. So with 1 or 2 changes, we should be able to get our comp to a stronger position. And that and there it is. That level 2 Berserker will absolutely make a huge difference for us. So that's pretty exciting. I think if we had to face him again, under the assumption he hasn't made any substantial changes, we should be able to beat him now. I think it will be close though. And now we move into our creep round. Level 30 with Thunderhide, and our Econ's still at a good place. You can see the guys in the top 3 have all been playing Econ reasonably well. We all got decent Econ for the remainder of the end game. But we crashed through that creep round quite comfortably, so happy with that.
Nothing beats a fresh kill.
There can be only one true.
So I've been mentioning it in the last few videos. I think we definitely need to practice a lot more when it comes to our scouting. We don't scout enough, and by that I mean we don't always look at the other teams and understand what comps they're running and follow them more closely. I think it's very important that that you follow what the other teams are running much more closely. You will notice that we changed position, and this was key for us because we know that the teams are sitting in the back left of their boards, which means we need to be on the right side of our boards. It allows us to get our ults off quicker because we hit the point of interaction much sooner, and that's very important for us. And then we get our second level 2 Evil Knight, and we start building towards a level 3 Hell Knight, which is awesome. And now it's a 1v1. This is Raptor, the guy who was beating us earlier with the Hunter comps, and he will be strong, but hopefully we can pull through to clutch the victory. Again, we've been running our economy really nicely. So economy is something that I'm also still learning and developing to work it better and build it more efficiently. And this was a good game when it came to that, so I'm really happy with that. That being said, this round this guy absolutely ate through us. I think that Siren managed to get the ult off quite nicely, although on his board we did win. It all comes down to whether or not that Siren gets his ultimate off, because the DPS from the hunters is really high. He's got some level 3 hunters there, and because of that he's managing to knock us out really quickly once the stone comes into play. So, or the spirit, the siren. So I decided to, I think I was going to change positioning there, but we didn't have time on the board. Potentially I wasn't focusing on the right things, which is also something that I need to work on. That being said, we still climbed through this one much easier. He does have a dark spirit on the board, but we still managed to take that victory. It looks like it's going to be a close game. I wanted to scout there to see who won on his board, but I didn't manage to check that out in time. But we do get our level 3 Hell Knight, and hopefully that can be a swing factor as we start to build towards our level 3 Lightning Blade.
Snake venom.
Definitely take the strange egg. You'll see now we start spending our econ. It's 1v1, we're at the end of the match, and what we really need to do now, what's going to win this match, is the level 3s. So you can see just in the last 2 rounds we've managed to get 2 new level 3s, and they're key pieces. Look how their front line just absolutely got annihilated there. This is the game changer. I think this is the point at which the game completely changes. That level 3 Hell Knight, that level 3 Evil Knight on the front line, absolutely devastating. And we're going into a creep round again, and we're spending the last of our econ, and we're really hoping to find that last Lightning Blade, and we're unfortunate not to get it. It would be really great to have all of those on there. So we knew at the beginning of the match, we wanted Hell Knight at a level 3, we wanted Frost Knight at a level 3, and we wanted Lightning Blade. So I think the Evil Knight at level 3 is a bonus for us. It's not what we expected. But because we don't have the Lightning Blade at level 3, the Hell Knight is, the Evil Knight is great to have at level 3. So I'm actually happy, I'm comfortable. I think we should be scrolling now. We're going to reposition first. And then we need to be rolling to see if we can get that last Lightning Blade, or maybe a strange egg or something like that. I think, you know, Raptor is on a losing streak now. He's trying to make some positioning changes, but our team's pretty strong, and we made it even stronger by adding all these items. I mean, this attack speed increase by 70% for Lightning Blade is an absolute nightmare for him. And there comes our Lightning Blade for the next round. So we just missed it on this round. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it in, or if we're going to beat him by 12. I'm actually hoping that we don't beat him by 12. And we do beat him by 12 on his. So we take the victory. It's unfortunate. I would have loved to have seen that level 3 Lightning Blade. But a great match. I hope that you guys managed to pick up something that you could learn from. I know it was a fun match for me. I really enjoyed it. And it was also... It took us to Rook 7, so that for me was great. The gold Rook is always a nice achievement as we push our way towards King. And yeah, great strategy. Again, it is definitely still usable. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you have any questions, drop them down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support as we grow the channel, and we'll check you again next time. Enjoy.